Welcome to the Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. Today, we're talking round 2 of recounts in Florida, and the migrant caravan arrives. Plus, a first for Fortune's top business person, Apple's plan for movies, and a tiny turkey trend. Those stories and more in less than 10 minutes. I'm Erica Mandy. Today is Friday, November 16th. You ready? Let's do this. More election drama in Florida. The Washington Post says there have been some big problems with the first round of recounts. Broward County turned in results literally 2 minutes too late yesterday, and a judge said they could not be counted. Palm Beach County also missed the deadline, and another county did not turn in recount results because the new count was so different than the original count. There are also concerns about mail-in ballots that weren't counted because of bad signatures, so a judge ruled those voters have until 5 p.m. Saturday to fix it. So it's a bit of a mess, and campaigns for both Democratic and Republican candidates have already filed lawsuits. For now, a manual second recount in the Florida Senate race is happening. It's happening now, and results are due by Sunday. Governor Rick Scott currently has a lead of about 13,000 votes over Senator Bill Nelson. As for the race for governor, no manual recount for that one. Republican Ron DeSantis is seemingly the winner now, but Democrat Andrew Gillum says it is not over, that every vote must be counted. Stay tuned. President Trump is planning to visit California tomorrow, Saturday, to visit people affected by the wildfires. The fire in Northern California is now the nation's deadliest in 100 years. The death toll has been rising every day as National Guard members continue to search the devastated areas. The AP reports at least 63 people now have died in that fire. More than 10,000 homes and businesses were destroyed. The missing persons list is now more than 600. Some people are questioning the area's evacuation plan, but officials there say there's no good plan possible for that kind of extremely fast-moving fire. In Southern California, though, crews are gaining ground against a fire that destroyed hundreds of buildings in and around Malibu. Many groups continue to help with the recovery efforts. If you want to donate, there's a link in today's show notes. Hundreds of people from that caravan of Central American migrants have now reached the U.S. border, hoping to seek asylum in the U.S. Many of them found buses to get to the border faster than others who are walking. ABC News reports the city of Tijuana, Mexico, has now opened temporary shelters while people wait. U.S. border inspectors at the main crossing in San Diego can only take about 100 asylum claims a day. So reports say it could be weeks or even months before some of them get a chance to put in their claim. And there's a very long waiting list after that. The migrants say they're fleeing gang violence in their home countries like Honduras. Remember, President Trump ordered that anyone who crosses the U.S. border illegally cannot seek asylum in the U.S., and thousands of U.S. troops have been sent to the border. Supporters say anyone who wants to cross the border must do it legally, even if they have to wait. Critics say President Trump just tried to scare people before the election and has stopped talking about it now that it's over. Okay, the new rules for flavored e-cigarettes have now been announced, and they're meant to get e-cigarettes out of the hands of teenagers. The Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, proposed new rules that would limit, but not ban, flavored e-cigarettes in retail stores. So stores would have to keep them in age-restricted areas if they want to sell them. Regulators said the flavored products are way too appealing to kids with candy and fruit-type flavors. The FDA also wants to ban flavored cigars and menthol cigarettes. The Wall Street Journal reports if menthol cigarettes are banned, that's getting rid of nearly a third of the 250 billion cigarettes sold in the U.S. But it'll still take time to actually finalize any of these new rules and then actually enforce them. A quick break now to thank our sponsors for making the Newsworthy possible and keeping it free to you. Today's episode is brought to you by Swap.com. More than 14 million tons of textiles are wasted each year, so you can feel good and help to prevent the waste by shopping for gently used, hand-inspected items on Swap.com. Or if you're just sick of spending lots of money on new brand-name clothes, especially for your kids who will outgrow them in a few months, then check out Swap.com. It's the world's largest online consignment and thrift store. You can save up to 90% off the retail price on brands like Carter's, J.Crew, and Gap, and you always have the option for hassle-free returns within 30 days. There's a special offer for the Newsworthy listeners as well. You can get 35% off select items for your first order by going to swap.com and using the promo code Newsworthy, plus find new deals every day on swap.com's homepage. Now back to the news. Fortune's Business Person of the Year is a woman for the first time, Progressive CEO Tricia Griffith. She started her career as a Progressive claims rep and worked her way up to CEO 30 years later. She's now one of just 24 female Fortune 500 CEOs. And she's been in charge as Progressive has doubled its profit and seen nearly a 50% rise in its stock prices over the past year. It looks like Apple is investing in original movies. TechCrunch reports Apple signed a multi-year agreement with A24. It's the film studio behind movies like Moonlight, which you might remember won an Oscar for Best Picture. IndieWire says there will be multiple features produced for Apple, but that's about all the details we have so far. To be continued. A slew of movies will be opening as Thanksgiving nears, and The Hollywood Reporter says the movie debut this weekend getting the most attention is a Harry Potter spin-off called Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. It's the sequel to the first Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them that came out the same weekend back in 2016. There's apparently a new Thanksgiving trend: tiny turkeys. Bloomberg reports the millennial generation is more likely to want to avoid food waste with all the leftovers from massive birds, and they prefer free-range food as well, so the turkeys would be allowed to run and don't grow to 30 pounds. The tiny turkeys are about 6 pounds and becoming much more popular, but Bloomberg says the 12 to 14-pound turkeys are still the biggest holiday seller for now. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, you can always read more about any of the stories mentioned. Just go to thenewsworthy.com, click episodes, and find today's date. You'll find all the sources and story links for you from today's episode. The Newsworthy is ready for you every weekday by 4 in the morning. I'll be back with more news on Monday. Have a great weekend.